You analyzed the situation, identified the problem, and come up with the solution. The benefits are clear. You announce the change to your team. But instead of enthusiasm and excitement about the solution, you're bombarded with questions and comments that appear to challenge your leadership, the validity of the solution. And the backlash is quick, loud, and threatens to sabotage a change your organization needs. You think, my employees must be resistant to change. If this sounds at all familiar, let me reassure you, it's not resistance. And it can be prevented when you abide by the law of change. In this video, I want to share with you what is the law of change and why it's so critical to your success with your organizational change efforts. In fact, to any change. And the one question every leader must be comfortable answering, exploring, and having the conversations to prevent resistance and enable healthy and sustainable change. Recently, a colleague shared a story about the backlash a local bank faced when it changed its name. That's all it did, change its name. Customers and the local community's response was swift, loud, and had a direct impact on their business. Many of the customers complained. They talked about how the organization had violated their trust, and some took their accounts to the other bank in their local area. As she told me the story, I wasn't surprised. I've seen this scenario, a seemingly small, innocuous change, create a large backlash in many organizations. And I see it played out almost daily in the media. The thing is that this backlash could all be avoided if those leaders had abided by the law of change. The law of change states that people will only move toward a change when they have internalized the need for change. In the case of the bank, for the community and its customers, the original name held a sense of identity and a recognition of a homegrown business that they were really proud to be part of. The need for the new name wasn't understood, nor did the new name seem to be consistent with the explanations that were given after the event. Enabling people to explore the evidence, the need for the change, and create a meaningful connection and understanding. That's what I call the internalization process of the need relative to the current conditions is necessary to enable us to get ready and build the level of preparation to move forward with something new and different. When the people affected don't internalize the need for change, the failure of your change initiative, it's almost guaranteed. Yet most leaders either ignore the law completely or minimize its importance by giving just a cursory explanation in a presentation or a brief overview of it and then jump right into the solution. Kind of like rolling through that stop sign instead of really stopping. John Cotter, author of Leading Change, found that over 50% of companies fail when it comes to creating and communicating the need for change. Now, there are many reasons leaders don't abide by the law of change. And one of the biggest ones that I see is that it's counterintuitive. Most leaders, when introducing something new to another group, we begin with what's new. We're excited about what's new. We want them to understand and get excited about the new software, the new name, the new process. We tend to focus on the solution, its benefits, its opportunities. Then when people push back, they double down on those benefits, explaining how great it's going to be and all of the advantages. And although this makes sense intuitively, it overlooks all of the work that you did and that all of the others must do to begin the change process and build that level of readiness necessary to get the commitment to take the action to move forward with that change. It also puts you in this position of having to sell a solution to which no one sees a problem. And if you believe that people are resistant to change, that is, you're working with a resistant mindset, after you have announced that change, all those questions, those concerns, and comments about why it won't work become evidence of that resistance, sparking a toxic cycle of change. What do you do instead? Leaders who use the law of change introduce the need first. They make time and space for their employees and the people affected to understand the problem or the opportunity, to take them through the journey that led to the proposed event or solution. Getting comfortable, exploring, receiving, responding, sharing, and answering the most valuable, but in my experience, the most challenging question for leaders, those why questions, is one of the most powerful tools for gaining the acceptance and buy-in for the change. Now, buy-in by itself is not enough. And I've got a video specifically at exploring the difference between buy-in and commitment and why you need to move from buy-in to commitment. But if you want to get that initial acceptance and agreement, you've got to abide by the law of change. One of the best ways to abide by the law of change is to get comfortable having those conversations about the need and then to write it down. Writing the need down beyond just a case for change triggers your brain to pay attention. It clarifies your thinking and it helps you have those conversations without feeling threatened. Documenting the need, and with our clients, we advocate that they begin to create their change story through that need rather than just a series of bullet points, because it also helps guard against confirmation bias. That is, deciding on a solution before the need or problem is fully understood, which then can result in your subconscious filtering out any information that's not consistent with the solution. And that can lead to what's known as faux change. And I'll talk about this in another video. One more thing. Abiding by the law of change doesn't mean people won't question or challenge the change event. They will. That doesn't mean they are resistant to change. Challenging and questioning anything new and different is built into our human DNA. We are hardwired to assess our environment constantly and unconsciously for consistency and predictability. Anything that is inconsistent, like that new change that you want to introduce, triggers our early warning system. And we use these why questions, these challenging questions. Why this solution and not that? Why now? Why her and not me? How do you know this wouldn't work? It wouldn't work before. We use all of those questions to help us make sense of the inconsistency and to prepare us for moving forward with something new and different. So leaders who get comfortable with sharing, exploring, and helping people discover the need for change until it is internalized have a very different experience with change. One leader we worked with who was implementing some new technology and all of the new processes described that internalization process like this. Just having them talk about the change event. The conversations got them to see there was a problem and then commit to solving the problem as a team. All right. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found this video helpful. If you'd like to learn more about how to use the law of change to prevent resistance and create healthy and sustainable change with employees who can quickly embrace something new, reach out. Let's have a conversation. Bye for now.